Hello everyone, welcome to Lemmings for the Sega Genesis. I'm Around the Wheel, or for my non-North American comrades out there, this is the Mega Drive version of the game. You might be saying to yourself, Around the Wheel, what is the big idea? You've played Lemmings before on the PC. Why are we revisiting it now on a console of all things? What possible justification could we have for playing this game twice? Well, if you'll recall, when I was playing DoveLems, there was a level in the bonus pack at the very end called Just My Pretty Remake. And it was not a remake of anything I was familiar of at the time, but it turned out to be a remake of Lemmings Arc, which was also included in that bonus pack. But more importantly is the 30th level of the Mayhem difficulty rating in this particular port of the game. And that's when I learned that the Genesis Lemmings has different levels than the PC or the Amiga, or even largely the Super Nintendo version. The Super Nintendo version has a few bonus levels of its own, but this takes it to a whole nother level. This game is, yes, this game is Lemmings as you know it, but it's also sort of a different beast entirely. And for reasons that will soon become apparent, they had to put a lot of levels in this game. They had to replace some of the levels that were in the original Lemmings and put in all new levels, which, unless you are familiar with this particular version of the game, you probably haven't seen these levels. And so what we're going to be getting here, this is going to be kind of a fascinating journey. We are going to be playing both a mix of the old. We're only going to be playing one player. Two-player, I'm quite frankly not interested in, but this is going to be pretty fascinating. This is both a mix of the old and also a journey, an unprecedented journey into the new. And you've got your four regular difficulty ratings. Yes, you do. You have fun, tricky, taxing, and mayhem. But on top of that, we also have two more difficulty ratings in this port of the game, both with their own 30 levels apiece, and they are called Present and Sunsoft. That makes 180 levels. That's 150% as many levels as the original Lemmings had. So yes, we're going to be chomping into this game for a while. And even in Taxing and Mayhem, you can see that there are different level names. The bridge is breaking down. That was not in the original. That was something like If at First You Don't Succeed. And Steelworks has been replaced by Let's Get Together. And if you'll recall, If at First You Don't Succeed in Steelworks, they were pretty large levels, and we'll be getting into the technical why and how of it pretty soon. But first, we're going to start with fun. These first few days are just going to be refreshers. I don't think we're getting to new levels just yet. We're not diving right into that particular sort of thing. We're going to start on Just Dig. Ah, yes, good old Just Dig. Already lulling you into a false sense of security. Like, just dig. What could be easier? What could possibly be easier than that? Now, I have never played with a controller before either, but this isn't going too badly so far, I don't think. Oh, I feel like I'm already having to like mash the button to get guys to do what I want, though. So precision, excuse me, might be a problem. But that wasn't too bad. And the controller, I guess, is not horrible. I've always kind of dreaded playing with a controller because it meant giving up the precision of the mouse. And ooh, that might be worrisome later. Actually, let's check something real quick. You might have to die. No, you don't. Oh, good. Whew! I can still pick tasks while the game is paused. Well, that might help with the precision aspect. But I've been spoiled by Win Mini. I am now used to having things like fast forward and replay in my arsenal, and those tools will not be with me any longer. So yeah, we're getting back to good old basics here. Quick. Oh, there's only 5 letters in the passwords. Well, that makes it easier to remember. I think that was a Q anyway. It wouldn't be Lemmings if you couldn't tell your O's from your Q's. Thought I saw some kind of little indents in the letter, though, that even my bad eyes could kind of sort that out. Only floaters can survive this. Yeah, these levels are going in pretty much the same order that they were originally. And no, we're not going to be listening to any music from my personal gaming jukebox, unfortunately. This game has music of its own. Some Win Mini levels come packed with music, but that's if you're bothering to make custom MOD files that work with it. And the levels are just mute by default. That's why I played music of my own, gaming music of my own in DoveLems. But here we're going to give the music its appropriate chance to shine. So yes, you are stuck with the oldies and goodies and those lovely public domain tunes from the past. Yeah, I'm in a rescuing mood today, so we're gonna rescue as many as possible. We don't have fast forward at our disposal, but that's quite alright. I'm an editing Jedi, I think. So, we're gonna go ahead and, for now we'll, let Lemmings walk to the exit so that I can get my first impressions out of the way. But later on we'll be skipping ahead to the end where necessary. So, yeah, so even though there are, quite frankly, this is going to be kind of a breather from DoveLems, I think. I've never understood why people find Lemmings so difficult, and I think it's because of things like, you get lulled into thinking it's easy, and then, oh, hell, it's not. It's going to be really super hard. And, but no, Lemmings is not really hard if you think about it. Dodo Chikalo took Lemmings to its natural extreme with DoveLems, but there is nothing, I don't think there's anything like that in this game. I don't want to jinx myself. Those present in Sunsoft levels could indeed end up being very tricky, but at worst I'm thinking more like Oh No More Lemmings difficulty in those particular levels, and I don't think they'll make you do anything terribly cruel like walking bombers or anything. There's a little bit of a necessity for that in this original Lemmings game, but overall vanilla Lemmings is, I think, pretty easy. A little bit overrated in terms of difficulty by people who are only familiar with, well, this one game and maybe a few assorted others. Even Oh No More Lemmings is harder than this. So I'm thinking this might be a nice little relaxing breather for me. So that will be interesting to see. Now use miners and climbers. Thank you, game, for the tip. Here's a little Amiga trademark right here, the acid in the pits. That's something I'm not really used to. The Lemmings look like they're actually kind of leaning forward when they walk. Maybe that's just my eyes playing tricks on me. Who knows? But yeah, the acid in the pits. I'm used to growing up with nothing in the pit, but sometimes in the Amiga version of the game, you'll see little things like this where they fill a pit that would normally be empty with liquid. And yeah, getting guys to do what I want is going to prove a little bit difficult, I think. I'm like pushing the button like 4 times per person just to make sure they do the stupid crap that I want them to do. But yeah, I can see this being more akin to the Amiga version of the game. The Genesis is really the closest thing the console world has to the Amiga, I say the Amiga because that is, bar none, the definitive port of the original Lemmings. That is the standard by which all other ports are judged. And this looks kind of like Amiga Lemmings with the rainbow font. Remember in the DOS version, there were only blue letters. But here you've got a rainbow font, just like the Amiga version. And I think this will hew pretty closely to the Amiga in terms of its particular aesthetic. The Genesis was always the platform that those Amiga games, when you had an Amiga game that kind of graduated to consoles, you would often see it on the Genesis. Games like Flink, Pugsy, Wiz and Liz, stuff like that. Stuff that started out on the Amiga but kind of got a boost in popularity and got the chance to be in the console world. Those games usually, more often than not, ended up quote unquote graduating to the Genesis. So they're kind of spiritual siblings, I guess, the Amiga and the Genesis. And so it makes a lot of sense to be playing Lemmings on the Genesis. Not so much on the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo has its differences and stuff. There are a few different levels in that too, but I think there are only 5 Sunsoft levels in the Super Nintendo one, if I recall correctly. There's nothing on the order of, like, entire new difficulty ratings there. I mean, like, all the 6s isn't in the Super Nintendo version. Obviously, Nintendo wasn't down with the occult references, and frankly, whatever replaced it is probably a better level anyway, because all the 6s is kind of a stupid level. You get 66 of everything to beat it. That should have been in the fucking fun levels. Not tricky. Now, 6 of everything, then we'll talk, but yeah, this level is squunched down from the original. You can kind of see now why they needed to make smaller levels, because some levels in the original, they take up the entire length of the map, but this map is severely truncated compared to its counterparts, the Amiga, the PC, and even the Super Nintendo. So we're not going to get to see as much pretty architecture, but some levels that take up the whole length of the playing field, you can begin to see why the need for new levels, new original levels, was necessitated. Like here, oh yeah, I could have gone way farther out than this on the old computer, down at the old home place. But yeah, so a lot of levels I think that span entire map lengths, we're not going to be seeing a lot of those. Those are the ones mostly that are going to get replaced. But like, you need bashers this time. You could squunch down that level and not lose the original spirit of it. Ha ha ha! I've still got it with the walking bombers. Yeah, this game should be a piece of piss. Should not be a problem at all. I don't foresee it being a problem anyway. If I can get walking bombers down, there's not really much in vanilla Lemmings that can stop me. So let's jack up that release rate. Pump it, pump it, pump, pump, pump. Pump it up, pump it up. Pump up the jam, pump it up. Alright, yeah, we're getting on a pretty good roll here. These are levels that, if you played Lemmings at all, you should be familiar with these. These are tutorial levels designed to teach you how to play the game. And they really only get at the most basic use of the tasks. You have to get, where the game becomes difficult for people is you have to kind of figure out the full potential of what these assigned tasks can do. And that can be difficult when the game only shows you these bare basics like blocking and bombing and just very basic stuff like that. Like, you've already had a blocker level, but the game said that that last level was a task for blockers and bombers. It doesn't even begin to hint at the possibility of walking bombing. And yes, builders will help you here, but they don't say anything about, like, multiple builders going over the pit or anything like that. They assume maybe you're going to build your way out of the pit, because that's a very easily buildable obstacle. You can get out of that easy peasy lemon squeezy. I might let a few guys die there. Well, you know, let a few guys die. Well, maybe not. Let's see how it goes when I just cram. Yeah, it might be difficult to get multiple guys to do things at once. Although that is a fat bridge. Holy cow. Maybe bridges in this game are a little bit longer. They look about as tall, but they also look... Excuse me, shit. They look a little wider and fatter, too. That might come into play occasionally. There might be a few small minor precision differences here, but for the most part, I don't see it being too terribly a problem. Lemmings was generally well ported wherever it was taken, with a few notable exceptions, like the NES Lemmings is just total garbage. Maybe we'll play that sometime as a one-off for shits and giggles, but that, yeah, I played a little bit through that, and that is just, that's an abomination unto itself. That's all kinds of crazy. But this, I don't know why they have the technical limitations of the short, like, see, these are the edges of the level here. Whereas in original Lemmings, they're just walls that keep everybody shut in so they don't wander off. But here they are, the very edges of the level. I don't know why technology necessitated a much smaller field of play, but we got some new levels out of it, and hopefully we'll be seeing some of them soon. Let's move on. We're making pretty good progress today. Not as complicated as it looks. Here's your first, yeah, this is different already. Yeah, this level had a lot of, like, pillars and stuff off to the side that were, they were just there for, like, window dressing. But here we've kind of replaced it with this, drab steel and water affair. Yeah, it's sad, I suppose, but the basic spirit of the level is still there, and this one is probably the easiest level in the entire game. You just put that one blocker out. Fantastic, that's great. Yeah, for now we can get away with the freewheeling, but I'm sure later on you'll be seeing me doing a lot of pausing and getting my cursor right on a guy and being like, okay, do your thing, Mr. Man, okay. Yeah, and just a lot of, like, whinging and wheezing and whatnot. We'll try to get through about 10 levels today. I think that's a pretty good clip. That's a full 1/3 of the fun rating. Don't get too comfy, though. I mean, we'll still be spending a lot of time with this game because it's got 180 levels. If I did 10 levels a day, it would still take 18 episodes, which is nothing to sneeze at. Bless you, Gesundheit, Mr. Bomberman. Okay, 95 and we rescue 99. Yes, you can have 100 Lemmings. That's another way that this resembles the Amiga version, I suppose, is that you can have 100 Lemmings per level, whereas in the DOS version it maxed out at 80, which made for some weird percentage. Yeah, there we go, 100 Lemmings right there. Okay, let me try out some precision right here. This is a good level to try out some precision stuff on. So let's get right here, and then... Yeah, okay, yes. Oh man, I missed being able to do that. There are some things I'll be relying on luck in a few cases. Like, see, these guys are all mashed up in a line. I can't tell a guy walking to the right to bash through anymore. I will have to rely on luck. We are back to the... Oh, whoa. Getting some slowdown going up in here. It is a slow... Ain't no party like a slowdown party. Because a slowdown party will wreck your computer. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I got pretty lucky with that. But, oh, I thought I only used one. I must be mashed. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop that. I'm gonna use too many of a task at some point, and it's gonna do me in. And that's gonna get pretty bad. So, yeah, this isn't too bad to control so far. I've always kind of loathed the prospect of controlling Lemmings with a controller. For me, it's always been, you know, the mouse way or the highway. So, this is kind of a culture shock for me, actually, to be playing with a good old controller. So, but it's not working out too, or it's not too horrible so far. So, 5 miles if you love... I thought that was always smile if you love Lemmings. What's the big deal here? Is someone trying to be funny? Is this the same old... Yeah, this is smile if you love Lemmings. Why is it 5 miles? Okay, that's a bizarre joke that I don't confess I totally get. I'm going to do this the simple way. Even though I know there are plenty of other ways I could handle this, I'm going to go ahead and do it the easy way with a bunch of floaters. And we're going to peck and chip away at them and make sure they all get down to their destination safely, and that's going to do it for us today. Welcome to Lemmings for the Sega Genesis, everybody. This is going to be quite a project. We haven't seen anything too different so far, but if you haven't played Lemmings in a while, you know, this is a good time to get reacquainted with some of the more classic aspects of it, because pretty soon we're going to be going down the weirdo lemming hole, and things are going to get bizarre and precise and specific and quite possibly screamy. So yeah, there was a lot more to this level too originally, as I recall. But yeah, we'll see a few of the differences of the pillars look much more, I don't know. There's a richness to the graphics here that's not in the DOS version, that's for sure, because these pillars actually look like really golden and buttery, like I could bite into one. Ow! Like somebody has here, obviously. But yeah, we're gonna get into some of the core differences between PC Lemmings and I guess everything else, Amiga Lemmings largely. But yeah, everybody go on and have yourselves a good day. We're gonna have a great time with this series, and I can't wait to get into some of the new levels. So we're gonna blow up our little guy here. Sorry you don't live to see another day, but I'll see you guys next time for level 11 of fun.